Hello, let's go over lesson 1-2. We started class by going over our model and discuss, and we looked at the situation of Joshua going camping or on vacation, and he is budgeting for kayak rentals. As Joshua set aside money for his kayak rental, he decided he was not going to spend any more than $50. So, how can we help Joshua determine the number of hours he can rent a kayak for himself? We'll describe two different options. So, let's look at the information we have. We have a budget of $50, and we have 1, 2, 3 different kayak options. The single kayak is $15 per hour. The single sea kayak is $18 per hour, and the double kayak is $25 per hour. Well, since the question here specifically says he is renting a kayak for himself, we could exclude the double kayak, and we don't need to worry about that. But our two additional options, the single kayak and the single sea kayak, each cost a little bit more per hour. So we want to define this per hour. That's what we're looking for. The number of hours here is our variable. That's my x. So if I have $15 per hour, as in example 1, the single kayak, I'm going to take that 15 times the number of hours to get my total. What is my maximum total? $50. Okay. The second option is the $18 per hour. So 18 times x equals my total. So for each of these, how can I solve for x? Well, I know my total is 50, and we have $15 per hour. So I am going to solve this equation by undoing the multiplication on both sides. Divide both sides by 15, and we get x equals, and I believe this is 3.3 repeating. So a little bit more than 3 hours. Okay, so to describe option 1, Joshua can rent a single kayak for 3 hours. $15 times 3 is 45, and that is less than 50. And then the other option is to take our 18x equals 50 and divide both sides by 18. So we get x equals 2 point, 25, is that 2.6 repeating? It's 2.7 repeating. Okay. So the other option is, or rent a single sea kayak for $18. Oh, no, for almost 3 hours. 2 hours. So 18 times 2 is 36, and that's less than 50. Okay? Then we need to consider this next part. What if there is a $25 non-refundable equipment fee? How does that change our equations? So I'm going to clear this out. Oops. Clear this out. And head down for a little bit. So we have a $25 non-refundable equipment fee. How does that interact with Joshua's budget? He still only has $50, but now when he rents the kayak, not only does he have our kayak fee per hour, he also has the addition of $25 of an equipment fee that he does not get back. So now when we're solving, we have two things we need to undo. We have 15 times x plus 25 equals 50. So I'm going to first undo this 25, and I'm going to subtract that from both sides. Okay, so 50 minus 25 is 25, and that equals 15x. And I'm going to divide both sides by 15. Then we get x equals 1.6 repeating. The same thing is going to happen with our $18 an hour kayak. So we have our 18x plus 25. And I want you to try that one on your own. See if you can follow that same process. And then for part C, compare how those processes are the same for parts A and B. All right, and how are they different? So think about that as you fill in your notes. The first example I want to go over with you after that model and discuss is this solving for x in an equation. Our primary goal when we are solving an equation is to isolate the variable. So in this equation, 2 times the quantity x plus 4 all over 3 minus 8 equals 32, my goal is to get x by itself. Okay? So I want to take a look at our hint here. There's a vocabulary hint. So remember, a variable is an unknown quantity or a quantity that can vary. An equation is a mathematical statement with two expressions set equal to each other. It has an equal sign. A solution of an equation is a value for the variable that makes the equation true. So what we find to be the answer of x makes the left side equal to the right side. So we need to figure out what value of x will allow this side of our equation to equal 32. Okay, so let's walk through this piece by piece. So we have 2 times the quantity x plus 4 all divided by 3 minus 8 equals 32. Now my goal is to get this guy by itself. So there's quite a bit to undo. Okay. The first thing I'm going to move is this minus 8 because it's separated from all of this. This is all bunched together. So let's move the negative 8. We always want to Just like we use the order of operations to evaluate, we're going to use the order of operations in reverse to solve. So I am going to reverse subtracting 8 by adding 8 to both sides. So then I have the quantity, or 2 times the quantity, x plus 4 divided by 3 equals 32 plus 8, which is 40. Okay. Now here we're dividing all of this by 3. So I'm going to undo division with multiplication. So if I multiply both sides by 3, multiplying the numerator by 3, and then dividing by 3, this reduces out. So I'm left with 2 times the quantity, x plus 4, equals 120. Okay? Now, some of you might see a different way to solve this. You might say, okay, so I've got this 40 over here, so I know all of this has to be 40. So what number am I going to divide by 3 to get 40? And you might be able to reason through and identify the 120. And that's fine. Okay? And lastly, we have 2 options here. We can look at this and say 2 times what number is 120, and you might know that 2 times 60 is 120, and so I know this parenthesis has to equal 60, all right? Or I can use the distributive property to distribute my 2 and then solve. It doesn't matter which of those paths you take. I kind of like the idea of maybe dividing by 2 first, since both sides are even. Okay, so if I divide by 2, this eliminates, and we're left with x plus 4 equals 60. And then I can subtract 4 from both sides, and we get x equals 56. Now, what I can do is go back and verify. If I do 2 times 56 plus 4 divided by 3 minus 8, will I get 32? So here I have 2 times 60 divided by 3 minus 8 equals 32. 120 divided by 3 is 40. 40 minus 8 is 32. So 32 equals 32. My answer checks. Okay. There is a you try problem, so let me show that to you. This will be in your workbook. But if you don't have that with you, try this one. Solve the equation and explain your reasons as you go, or show your work. Okay, so 4 plus the numerator, 3x minus 1, over the denominator, 2, equals 9. Isolate the x to find your solution. The next type of example we have is a consecutive integer problem. So the sum of 3 consecutive integers is 132. So we have some vocabulary here. What does consecutive mean? Consecutive means in a row or next to. So in a row. 3 integers in a row. Integers are numbers. They can be positive or negative. So 3 numbers in a row add up to 132. Three numbers in a row add up to 132. So I have one number plus a second number plus a third number equaling 132. All right, what's our tip? We can check the solution by substituting the value into the original equation. Okay, well, to do that, we need an equation. Do I know what my first number is? No. So let's identify a variable. My first integer is going to be x. Let's pretend that this is 2, the number 2. What is the integer next to the number 2? How about 3? 2, 3, 4 are 3 integers in a row. Okay, so example would be 2, 3, and 4, and then I can add those together to get 9. Now, 2, 3, and 4 do not work for this problem, right? But how do I get from 2 to 3? And how do I get from 2 to 4? So my second integer is going to be x, my original number, plus 1 more. 2 plus 1 gets me to 3. 2 plus 2 gets me to 4. So my third integer is the second integer plus another 1, and that is x plus 2. So I am going to use these 3 expressions to write my equation. So x plus 1 plus x plus 2 give me the 3 integers I need to add together to get to 132. Now we combine like terms. So we have x plus x plus x is 3x, and we have 1 plus 2 is 3. And that equals my 132. Now I have an equation I can solve. So I'm going to undo my addition with subtraction. And then I have 3x equals 129. Okay, so now we're going to divide both sides by 3, and we get x equals 43. So my 3 integers, the first one, x is 43. What comes next? One more is 44, and 2 more is 45. Okay? So my 3 integers are 43, 44, and 45. Okay? So I want you to try one. The sum of 3 consecutive odd integers is 57. Interesting. So if I need my integers to be odd, I need 3 odd numbers in a row. So let's look at an example. 3, and then the next odd number is 5, and then the next odd number is 7. So if I do this with my variables, I have x, I have 3 to 5 is 3 plus 2, so I'm going to do my x plus 2, and then 3 to get to 7 is 3 plus 4. So I'm going to do x plus 4. So those are the 3 expressions you will use. What do I need to do with these to add up to 57? Give that a try. Example 4 takes us through a scenario where we have 4 friends using an online code to get a discount for concert tickets. So they spend a total of $312 for 4 tickets. What was the price of one ticket without the discount? Okay, well, let's take a look at what we know. We have 4 tickets in section B, row 10, seats 13, 14, 15, and 16. Now that part doesn't really matter, but what does matter is we know we have 4 tickets that were discounted $15 each, okay? And we have a total of 312. So we know one side of our equation is going to be 312. And we discounted the tickets how much? 4 times 15. So our total discount is $60. So we have 4 tickets with a price of X, and we subtract $60. So 4x minus 60 equals 312. Okay? How much is it per ticket? Okay, again, let's isolate the x. Let's start by undoing subtraction by adding 60 to both sides. So we have 4x equals 372. I'm going to undo division or undo multiplication with division. And we get x equals, $93 each. Oh my goodness. So let's check it. 4 times 93 minus a $60 total discount. Will that get me 312? So 4 times 93 is 372. If I take away 60, is that 312? And it is. Okay? So now I want you to try one. Let me clear this out. You can pause and go back if you need to. The same 4 friends buy tickets to 2 shows on consecutive nights. They use a coupon for $5 off each ticket. They pay a total of $416 for 8 tickets. So if you remember on the previous screen, they made a table where they had the number of tickets, okay, 8 tickets at X dollars each, and then we have our discount, $5 per ticket, and then they did 5 times the number of tickets. Okay, and then what is the total cost? $416. So I'm going to do the number of tickets times the price of the tickets and then subtract off my discount. Okay, see what you get.